What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more.
Hello,
Sorry.
and welcome to another episode of Philosophical Bones. I'm Nick,
I'm Keith.
and we decided to do something a little fun and do a little intro music.
Yeah, because we haven't done that in a while.
No, we never did that for Philosophical Bones.
No.
So I thought it'd be kind of fun because on today's episode, question 26 is, what is love?
What is love?
What is love?
What is love?
What is loves?
Like, so like the big thing for me is I feel like it's a chemical reaction.
Oh, we're going straight into it.
No?
No. Oh, yeah. Go for it.
Oh,
Fuck it. Sorry, I interrupted you.
What I feel is like it's a chemical reaction in the brain. Like I feel like we're wired to feel like we need because we're when it really boils down to it, like we're apes, and apes are a commutative species.
Yeah, I've heard it described before as love is no different than consuming large amounts of chocolate.
Right.
Like brain chemistry wise, I guess.
Yeah, well, here's the thing: is like getting back into what I was like.
Although I do love chocolate.
He loves some
I've
chocolate.
never gotten to the point though where I wanted to like orgasm over eating a lot of chocolate.
I'm sure some of us have been.
Or I'm
there.
like, oh my god, I love you so much, chocolate.
Chocolate.
Chocolate, you're my best friend.
Oh,
I want
chocolate.
you so much. We should preface this episode by saying we're already been drinking a little.
Oh yeah, well that's kind of a given. But like,
and your door just flew open magically, by the way.
It's because I got ghosts.
Yeah.
But the big thing with love is like we all feel like we need it. We all feel like we want it. But have you ever actually genuinely been in love?
I'd say I have.
I can't say that I have.
I think maybe twice. Probably like my very first love that wasn't reciprocated at all. But then my second one would probably be I think there might be a ghost in here.
Whoa.
But anyway, I think I had a really intense relationship with a girl. It was one of those like burn super hot and then just die.
Yeah.
And I can honestly say I was in love with her.
So
it was a very, very passionate relationship, and it was cool. It was interesting because we went to like a house show that night, and I remember afterwards she's like, "Oh, I have something. I really have something I want to tell you." And I'm like, "Yeah, so do I." And we went outside and we were just smoking cigarettes, and she's like, "I'm in love with you." And I'm like I was gonna say the same exact thing to you.
Oh man.
I think we broke up like 2 weeks later.
Oh, good.
Or no, she broke up with me, but
like I've had the very.
She's actually married now, and I think she either just had a kid or is about to have a kid. And I was actually and we're friends. I haven't seen her in a long time, but because she lives in Santa Monica now, and I was living in Vegas at the time. But I actually, that's one person I can say I'm actually really honestly, like when she got married and everything, I was honestly really, and even to this day, really truly happy for her because she was such an amazing person.
Well, that's love.
Still is an amazing person.
That's love. That's love.
Yeah.
If we get down to the core of what is love, baby, don't hurt me.
Don't hurt me no more.
Don't hurt me no more. You really do give yourself over.
Yeah.
You really do. I think I've told this story before. When I was 17, I ran away with a girlfriend because I was basically she was moving to North Carolina, and I was never going to be able to see her again. And she's like, let's run away. Let's run away. And I was like 17.
Yeah.
And we were here in Tucson, Arizona, parts unknown, and we fucking through the blindness of love, I fucking ran away. And I got on a bus with her and went to fucking San Bernardino, California.
Yeah.
With no plan. We got mugged. We spent the night in a laundromat.
I remember you telling me this story. I forgot what episode it was we did.
Yeah.
We talked about it in.
Yeah, but it's the thing.
I think it might have been toxic relationships, actually.
Yeah, that's probably what it was.
Which I think is the most downloaded one episode we've had. That was a really good one, though.
Yes, it was, yeah. But the thing is, why I bring this... there is ghosts.
Yeah, well, I think there's a plastic flag.
Sorry. That's but the reason I bring this up is love makes you do stuff that you wouldn't normally do.
Totally.
Yeah,
it makes you stupid. That's for sure.
Yeah, it definitely blinds you to. I can't even tell you how many silly things I've done because it was love.
Yeah.
I'm in love.
And here's one thing I can say about love too is you never like I remember the first time I thought I was in love. I remember going on. I actually remember this memory pretty vividly. I think I was like maybe 17, 18. I think I was about 18 at the time, or I was almost 18. Anyway, I remember going on the bus and I was asking a friend of mine who had girlfriends and everything and been in love or supposedly been in love.
Told you that.
And I asked him like, "Hey, how do you know you're in love?" And he's like, "Oh, do you feel this way or this way?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah." And he's like, "Oh yeah, you're probably in love with this girl then." I was like, "Oh shit."
Here's my big thing is like before the age of like 30, you don't know what love is. Yeah.
Well, I think the 2 times I could say I was really completely legitimately in love were before I was 30.
Okay, I can agree to that.
I will say this though. I've had a time where I was dating a girl. I dated for about 4 months, and I think we said we love each other to each other within like a week.
Oh, that's rough.
And I
That's
honestly,
rough.
and I probably, I thought I was, and I think I actually have been, and we broke up and everything, and I look back on it now. And hindsight's 20/20, but I think even looking at it like 6 months later, I kind of realized like, was I ever really in love with her? And since then, I've honestly been very cautious about that, because if I'm gonna say it to someone, I want to be certain, but at the same time, you never really know if it really certainly is. I don't know. It's tough.
No, I like what you're saying, and I like what you're saying.
And not when you're drunk too, because I've been many times where I've been drunk.
I love you.
I've been around a girl, and I'm like, am I in love with her?
Well,
I'm like, you know what? Put a pin in it. Wait till tomorrow. If you still feel this way in the morning, yeah.
My biggest thing that I'm guilty of.
That's my best advice for knowing if you're in love. By the way,
my biggest thing that I'm guilty of is like, okay, so I've been seeing this girl for a while, and we end up in bed together, and then in the moment, I'm like, oh, I love you.
I've never done that.
And I can't take that back.
I've never done that. I can say that at
Dude,
least.
I've done that more than once.
Yeah.
And then like, wait a minute, like, oh shit.
Now, the last girl I saw, I always wondered, like, for a while, because we saw each other for a while, and I always wondered that to myself, like, am I in love with her? Am I in love with her? And when I'd be around her, I would think like, yeah, I think I might be, but if I spent more than a couple of days away from her, it was kind of just like, no, I don't think I am. But there's certain little things I want to throw in as like kind of little litmus tests. Like one thing like that I really enjoyed with her was I loved her smell.
Oh, dude, that's a biological thing.
Yeah, and I've had the girls like that. In fact, the one I was talking about who she ended up getting married and is pregnant and everything, she had this very distinct smell about her, of like from a cafe.
Okay.
I think it had this like croissant smell, and still to this day I can smell it, and just like it takes me back.
That's a biological thing.
Yeah. Well, scent memory is I think I was watching something on actually like Disney like Smell-O-Vision. It was like a Disney Dan video.
You were gonna say
YouTube.
Smell-O-Vision for a second.
No, it actually was about Smell-O-Vision, and the whole thing is with like memory, with like just us bringing a memory from like vision.
Yeah.
Or sound. It's not as it's there. We don't have as many sensory type things.
Our memory is most
but with
closely.
scent, or when it comes to scent, it's like scent memory is just we have so many.
Oh yeah.
Like, what is it like? Just
it's the what I've heard
like
is
sensory or sensors in our nose or some.
Well, what I've heard is the sense of smell is what's mostly closely tied to your memory.
Oh, completely.
Yeah, and I'm right there. Like, I worked at Subway for 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime I walk into a Subway and smell that bread, like I have this flood of memories that I fucking hate.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. No, I was just thinking of I have a memory from when I was probably like 3 or 4 years old of eggs like burning on it, like hard-boiled eggs like burning on a stove.
Oh, okay.
Because all the water went out, and I think I still might have that sense of the memory, and I don't eat hard-boiled eggs because of it.
It's just logged in your brain.
It's just logged in my brain. And if you know, it's one of those things. If you ever catch a certain scent, you just remember something.
Yeah.
And that is very closely tied to love.
Yeah. Well, and like keeping on like what you just said and like the topic itself, like primates, we are made to couple up.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we do. Is we couple. I'm just gonna say this because it needs to come up in every episode.
Yeah.
Bigfoot. Like they
Every episode of everything we do.
is Bigfoot, but like
Talking about love, we're talking about Bigfoot.
so like
Even though there is a Bigfoot porn.
there is.
And women out there would love to get them some Bigfoot.
Yeah, but like the big thing is primates pair up, and I think the word is pheromone, to where like when say have you ever been around a woman that you were attracted to, and just the way they smelled?
Yes.
Just say it didn't. It wasn't perfume. It wasn't this, that, or the other thing, but it just like triggered something in you.
Oh,
Like,
completely.
just like whoa,
Completely.
whoa. So what I'm getting at is like love being a chemical thing.
Very much so. Well, you kind of got me thinking about something with this just kind of popped in my head. It was with penguins.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, ghost, man.
Ghost.
The ghost. You want to take care of that ghost real quick?
Yeah.
All right, take care of it. So I'm doing.
Go ahead.
I want to talk.
Go ahead.
So I wanted to go into penguins. So when it comes to penguins, like like when they have that relationship, it's like the male penguin finds like the best pebble. I think the shiniest pebble, and because of that, the female accepts that pebble, and they mate for life, don't they?
Yeah. It's literally like a gifting,
Yeah.
and they it's and the thing is
That's the male kind of showing they really care about that female.
right.
Maybe?
Well, there's emotion there.
Yeah.
And we haven't gotten into emotion yet. All we've been talking about is chemical.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, we haven't gotten into emotion yet, but like
12 minutes in, still haven't even talking about the emotional part of
Yeah,
it.
but like you think about like penguins, which I know exactly what you're talking about. Like even puffins do this too, and like they will present a gift, and this is what will prompt this female to want to be with this male. So right there's no emotion, but when you get into emotion is a human construct.
Okay.
And
We're working into that now. We got it. Okay, we're going from chemical to emotional now.
yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, so
Good
like,
segue.
yeah, good segue. But like, so like, there's humans in particular. We have been a very emotional creature ever since we've been conceived. Well, I'm just going to use that phrase. Ever since we've been conceived. Like, there's a reason that there is a branch of study called psychology.
Yeah.
Like, so like when you start to, like, you think of the phrase puppy love. Like, I've been in puppy love more than once.
Oh yeah. Well, I always look at the honeymoon phase.
Yeah.
Honeymoon phase for me is a big factor, or a big thing when it comes to love, about just like, because you do have those really intense like feelings, you know?
Yeah.
When you have that the honeymoon phase, when you first start dating, you're like, oh my god, I got to be around this person like
all the time,
nonstop.
all the time.
I'm so into them. I'm like, oh my god, like I can't imagine being without them. And then 3 weeks later, it's like,
oh, I want some space.
Like, yeah, I need my time. I need my free time.
Well, and like one of the big things that I'm super guilty of is like I've never had a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
We've talked about this.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like I've never had a healthy relationship. I've never been with a woman in my life to where like, okay, I can see this being in the long run. Let's get to know each other. Let's have fun together, and like, hey, let's go hang out with my family on Thanksgiving. Like, never had that.
I think the last one I was just in, I actually felt like I had a pretty healthy relationship there.
Yeah.
I think it was nice because it wasn't like all consuming. It was very laid back.
That's hard for me.
It was very laid back, and it was just kind of nice because we could go out and have fun, and there wasn't any pressure to like.
And you felt good about it.
I felt good about it, and we'd have our fun, but this and that happened. I'm not even gonna get into it.
Yeah, we don't need to.
But that was actually a really good relationship with me, or to me, and and what was good to me too is like you get in that point when it actually, especially with like texting people, with the advent of text messaging, it's like you feel like you have to text each other every single day,
dude,
and it becomes a fucking chore.
Yeah, well, like with my last,
and it's not, and it's actually nice when you can meet with somebody and they're like, you don't have to text me every day, and I could go, and then there was a few times where I could go like a day without, I wouldn't go more than a day without texting, but I could go a day without texting. It wouldn't be a big deal.
Yeah. See, I'm gonna fire back with like an opposite side of it.
Oh.
Okay, like so.
Point counterpoint.
Yeah, like my last relationship, we all know was toxic. If any of you guys follow the show at all, the girl.
The show's a diary, so just go back a few episodes.
Yeah. Like if the last girl.
We might have talked about that with the toxic relationships.
Yeah, like
Maybe.
and she.
I think we might have. Yeah.
Yeah. She brought out the worst in me because she didn't reciprocate what I was feeling.
Yeah.
So like when I would express what I was feeling, she's like, no, I'm not. You know. So it made me react in a way that wasn't healthy. Yeah. Like so, like I'm glad that I'm not in her world anymore. But like the big thing is like
that girl was fucking nuts. Though, she was taking lithium. She was fucking nuts.
Twice a day.
Yeah,
twice a day. But like the thing is like she lives right next to my work, and I noticed unconsciously I changed my path to work so I didn't have to drive past her house.
Really?
Yeah. So like, or ride past her house.
Yeah.
But like it's one of those things where it affected me deep enough to where like I had feelings, but the thing is like I'm a sociopath, to where like when I do have feelings, it's pretty hard.
Yeah.
It's like it fucked my life up. Like you remember we've done episodes while I was with this person that we're talking about, and I was like blah blah.
Yeah, I was bringing
blah.
you down. I think.
Yeah,
right.
dude, man. Yeah, like so. Here's the thing: is keeping with what is love. Like, was that was not healthy for me.
No, that wasn't love.
No,
I think it's the
wasn't.
best way.
Oh,
and baby did hurt you.
Well, yeah, and what it was lust because I was so attracted.
But it's no more.
No.
Sorry, I had to go.
No, I'm glad you said that.
I had to break that one down.
No, I'm glad you said that because it's been 3 months since that hasn't been part of my life.
Yeah.
And I don't think about it anymore unless we're talking about it on a podcast.
That's good.
But you know, like there was actually a point not too long ago to where every time I fell asleep I was dreaming about it.
Oh.
And like so here's the thing is getting back into what is love. You have to think about what is chemically good for you. Do you get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like this was like okay, so when you have a dream, that's a chemical reaction. You know, you get where I'm getting at.
Yeah.
And you know, like, and it was not good for me. It just was never good for me. Like there's a window in the studio that's broken, probably because of that situation. Mm-hmm. So,
you always have something bad to you at every end of every relationship. I've noticed.
Dude, like I said, I've never had a healthy one.
Yeah,
I've never had a healthy one. Like I've never had one that was good. I never had one that ended in a adult way. And that's the most adult thing I've ever actually said.
Yeah, that is a big one.
Yeah, like I've never had one that's ever ended in an adult way. Which you listeners out there, you can take it for what that means. But like I've never had one that's ever been healthy. Yeah.
So maybe I should go into my relationship experiences or lack thereof. Because I honestly, I've never, and this probably sounds really bad, but I'm 35. I've never had a relationship last longer than 4 months.
Dude, I'm right
and
there.
I think I've hit that 4 month mark about maybe 3 times.
I'm right there with you. I'm 37.
Maybe next time I'll hit 5 months.
Like I'm 37. Never had anything past that myself.
You might have.
No. But continue. I want to hear your story.
Yeah. So, I mean, probably honestly the most awesome one I had was, like I said, with that girl who's married now. Everything and that only lasted a month. But that was a really good one, I will say. That was a fun one.
The big thing in my life is a lot of it has been flash in the pan.
Yeah. Another one. Well, one big one I'll talk about was I started dating a girl, and she honestly was. I should have known off the bat. Like she was kind of nuts. And I'm not doing that whole like, oh well, no, they're crazy. You know, like every woman's crazy. It's like no, I think she had some issues with like, and actually usually it comes from being fucked over by another guy, to where the trust issues and everything happen.
That's a hard thing to rebound from.
And I mean, of course I'm saying this, so you know, you can take it for what you want. I'll tell you my truth, and choose to believe it if you want. But I mean, I was always really good to her. I remember at one point her best friend, who I actually think she was secretly kind of in love with, said to her, it's like, you know, Nick treats you really well, and you treat him like crap.
Oh, God.
I had a little bit of a thinger for her best friend, but I never would have acted on it, of course. But she would always be accusing me of like not wanting to be around her and this and that. I was just like, oh my god, what the fuck? Like she'd fight with me nonstop. Her like before I never fought with anybody, and her since I'd never really fought with anybody. I was the only girl.
Really?
But I will say she was amazing in bed.
Haha.
And I would still sleep with her to this day.
Ah.
If she doesn't live here, but if all of a sudden she'd hit me up and be like, hey, do you want to sleep together? I'm like, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I will totally take you up on that. But that's kind of it's interesting. We talk about love and well, actually I'll get into this after I finish. So I've definitely like probably might have another girl I've kind of been in love with for years, but she's always just kind of brushed me off. In fact, she's like fucking pregnant now and she's getting married, and that kind of fucked me up because I always thought I was going to marry this girl. And I never really said I was in love with her, but maybe I kind of was, but it was like more like when you've been in a relationship with for years kind of love. Because I still think about her from time to time.
Right.
Well, I mean, I actually probably still like every day, and everyone was like, yeah, you're probably in love with that girl. And I feel like for the most part I am over her, but still kind of bothers me.
Yeah, and not to derail your story, but like the big thing for me is like I actually don't know if I know what love is.
Who does though?
Yeah.
Who really does? I think one thing I was about to get into was lust. How do we really know the difference between love and lust?
Lust was my last relationship.
Yeah.
That was.
That's why you don't tell someone you love them within like a week.
I like having sex with you a lot.
Yeah.
But
like, God, we have such an amazing time together. I think I'm in love with you. It's like, no. Like, give it a month.
Yeah.
Then tell me how you feel.
Yeah.
Because you might not be able to stand that person in a month.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like, I had an encounter with I'm going to use the word encounter with a girl that after my last relationship that she really liked me, and she's dope.
Mm-hmm.
This girl is dope. I wasn't physically into it.
Yeah.
But she was dope. And the thing is like
was she dope? Sorry, man.
I know I repeat myself.
Yeah, I know. I had to call you out for that one.
She was the shit.
Okay.
But super great person for being in my life. Mm-hmm. But I was realizing that like, no, I'm not into this. Like,
yeah,
like it's like, okay, we can do this, but and then I actually, true to my form, was like, you know what, this is where I'm at, and this is what you can expect from me. And she was like, nah. So
yeah,
like I was like, I told her, I was like, we can keep doing this, but it's never going to be anything more than this.
Yeah, and that's actually one good point with love is when you do see someone for an extended period of time, and you don't catch those feelings.
You don't catch the feels.
I think within 2 months, if you're not telling someone you love them, I think by then you might not. It might not ever happen.
Right.
Maybe so, but maybe not. I don't know. It depends on how much you're seeing each other actually, because like I said, the last girl I was with, like we'd see each other like once a week, if that. Okay. Like maybe once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks. And I feel like if I would have spent more time with her, or was able to spend more time with her, like I was able to see her like 2 or 3 times a week, I feel like I definitely would have.
Yeah, and my like, what you were just saying, like my big thing is like when I'm trying to be with somebody, and like, okay, we decide that we are together. Yeah. I have this thing is if I don't see you as much as you want to see me, I have a problem. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like I make time to see you. You don't want to make time to see me. Yeah. That's when there's a problem. Like I catch myself like obsessing over that. Like, why do I want to see this person less than they want to see me? True. And that's not healthy. It's not like I'm not a healthy person.
Well, we know that. I think the next thing actually a little stepping stone of this was I had a relationship with one girl, and we dated for actually like 4 months, and it got to the end of it actually, and we were just like, neither one of us are feeling it. It's like, yeah, I just don't think it's here. But it was more like, okay, like I love you as my friend, but I just don't
Yeah.
romantically. I don't love you.
Well, that's a whole other area.
Actually, now that person's like one of my best friends, like in the world.
Yeah, and that's a whole other area.
And that's actually what I wanted to segue into was going from like, from the chemical to the emotional, I think more into like the kind of family
Yeah.
aspect of things, or friend aspect of love. Because, one thing
Because you still want that person in your life.
Yeah, but I mean, the first thing I want to say about it is like nowadays people are like, oh, I love you, man. Like, I love you too, man.
Love
like,
you, bro.
Love you, bro. And it's just kind of a throwaway term now. And that's actually one way that's it's almost ruined the whole I love you thing.
The weight.
It doesn't feel, the weight.
Yeah, the weight of the phrase.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I definitely know what you mean.
Yeah.
Like you, my buddies that I live with, I love you guys.
Yeah.
But it means something different.
Oh yeah.
And then like that, I don't want to.
I
don't want to have sex with you, dude.
I don't want to have sex with you either, man.
but you get what I'm saying.
I wanted to have sex with a couple of your girlfriends, but
yeah, fair enough. But
I would never try.
But you get what I'm saying. Like there's like
just because I respect you, bro.
Yeah.
Bros before hoes.
Bros before hoes. But you get what I'm saying. Like there's a certain level of like what I'm getting at is there's a different terminology to the word love. Like when you really start getting into like the meat and bones of it. Like I love you, I love Chad, I love Tony, but the thing is like when you really get into dating on our side, we're men, dating a woman that want to be in our life, like using the word love is,
well, here's one thing for me too is I actually, if someone were to tell me that, or even actually when someone tells me they care about me, and this is a very personal thing for me to say.
I know.
Luckily, only like 30 people are gonna hear this, so whatever.
Yeah.
But I always say this show is like a diary, so you know what? It's cathartic for me. It's cathartic for you.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun.
This is for us.
Yeah,
we honestly do.
We started the podcast for us.
Yeah,
so.
we still do it for us.
Yeah,
but I want to say oh god, what did I want to say?
Well, you were talking about like cathartic love and stuff like that.
God damn it, I lost my train of thought.
Oh no. Well, maybe it'll come back.
Okay.
It's like what?
Oh no, I remember saying. So when somebody ever tells me they care about me, or they like, oh, I love you, and as my friend or brother or whatever, or actually I would say in being in a relationship, I kind of don't believe it. I'm like, how could you? Like, I'm like, why do you like me?
Right.
Why do you care about me? Like, why? It doesn't feel real to me.
Well, like
it doesn't. It's like I kind of instantly have that. Like, I don't believe you.
Well, like one of my worst qualities is like like what you said, piggyback. Like I say that phrase all the time, piggyback. Like it's when somebody expresses emotion for me, like I'm like, are you sure?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Like, are you sure?
Yeah.
But I can't help it. Like I can't help it. And like I've been with one of my best friends in the world still is one of my ex-girlfriends. Her name is Jessica. She's an amazing person. She's the reason that I have the dog that I have. Like, but like I gave her every reason in the world to fucking hate me, but she still tells me she loves me, and like we can never be in a relationship again. But she's like, I love you. I love everything about you. I want to take care of you, and and like when I lost my dog, and she was like, oh, I found this pup that would be perfect for you. And you remember when I got a little Princess Leia?
Oh yeah.
And and she brought her into my life, and she helped me save Princess Leia's life when she got parvo.
We're gonna have to get into the like when it comes to love and animals, but I don't want to.
Well, yeah, that's different.
I don't want to just yet.
That's different. Yeah.
I want to focus more on the family part.
Yeah. Well, like it. Okay, so let's go into family.
Yeah.
Let's go into family. Like I have one in particular that is really hard for me. My cousin Tony Day, and he's not gonna ever listen to this, so I'm gonna use his name. Like anybody that knows my family knows that we've been through a lot. And my cousin Tony let me move into his house when I was about 20 years old. and he helped me kind of bring myself up out of the ashes. And his wife, at the time that I was living there, died from heroin.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and there's a reason I'm telling this story. And like, so I was there when his 2 children that he had with her didn't know what to do, didn't know how to deal with their mom being gone. And I lost my mom when I was 7. So I gave them love. I was like, let's do Legos. Let's play Zelda. Let's do this, that, and the other thing. And and I hate to use love as a distraction, but I also let them know that I was here and I cared. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it meant a lot to me. And Andrew is the firstborn of the 2 that I was talking about, and he's 19 now, and he's fucking taller than me. It's like that's like that. It puts a warmness in my heart.
Yeah, I can feel the love from you. Just
yeah.
I can hear it in your voice, man.
Yeah, because Andrew had to deal with his mom passing away before he was old enough to deal with it, and I lost my mom when I was 7. And, he got to have more time with his mom than I did. Yeah. But the thing is I understood that. And so I was like, hey, let's do Legos, let's play video games, let's build an RC car. And now he's got a YouTube page.
Well, since you mentioned that, I want to bring up something. So, I mean, I told you this a little earlier. So, like 6 days ago, from when we're recording this, today is Saturday. On Monday, I became an uncle.
Yeah, that's right.
And for the first time.
What's the name?
Penelope.
Penelope.
Yeah, so I have a niece now, which is like,
that's awesome.
It's kind of crazy to me to think about that. And I saw like some pictures and everything, and like I said, this is the first it's like me, my brother, my sister, and this is the first like kind of baby in the family. Because we have we have a very small family. And it was like, I remember like before like she was born, like I said something like, oh, I'm like worried, like, oh, like something's gonna happen, or they're gonna have this happen, and somebody said to me, it's like, yeah, like that's what parenthood's like. And I'm like, seriously? Because I'd never experienced anything like that before.
Because you care. It's love, dude. It's
yeah,
love.
and now I'm like, oh, well, what's cool for me is from recording this, I'm gonna see her next week.
That's so cool. That's so cool.
And just kind of experience that. And
dude, you're gonna like the very first time you make contact.
Yeah.
You're gonna be like, oh my god.
Because I've seen a couple pictures of her, but I haven't actually seen a picture of her with her eyes open.
You're gonna fall in love.
I'm not changing the fucking diaper though. I think I told it to my brother too.
It's not your job.
I'm like, I'm not changing the fucking diaper.
This is not your job.
Because I personally, I don't want any children at all.
Yeah, I'm the same way, man. Same way.
And because
I'm too
don't
selfish.
Want that.
I'm too selfish.
I'm like, yeah, kind of me too.
I want to be able to like wake up.
It's like me and my dog. My dog's enough, and my dog is way easier than a fucking child. They're better too.
Way better behaved.
Yeah, they're way better companions. Well, just.
Well, here's the thing: is
wow, I'm saying dogs are better than children.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Neither one of us are fathers.
Yep, we're dog fathers.
We're dog
fathers.
We're Snoop Dogg fathers.
Snoop Dogg.
Well, you know the song Dog Father, but yeah. But like the thing is, like neither one of us at this point know what that sensation would be like.
This is the closest I've come, honestly, to where like knowing what it would be like to have a child.
And that's until we have our own. That's what it is.
But I will say I didn't get that. The one thing I didn't get was like, oh my god, like she's so beautiful. I'm like, no, she looks.
Babies are ugly.
She looks like a fucking. I just thought like I saw her. I was like, that's my niece. I'm like, all right, like, well, she looks like a fucking baby.
She's a baby. That's a funny thing.
Yeah,
that's a funny thing for me because like people are like, whenever they have kids, like
it would be so funny if 20 years from now she heard this.
Oh, maybe she will.
It's like, wow, you said hey, Uncle Nick, you said I wasn't a very good looking baby.
20 years from now, Penelope, if you're listening to this, you're awesome.
Yeah.
Like that's.
I'm sorry your parents were such a pain in your ass.
Yeah. But if you're listening to this 20 years from now, shout out.
Yeah. 20 years shout out. All right.
20 years shout out. That's our first 20 years shout out.
Yeah. But
go ahead.
Oh yeah, but so that's like actually something we can't necessarily touch on when it comes to love.
Yeah,
What
because
is
we're
love?
not there. We're not
Because
there.
when it comes to children, because I know when they always say when you have children, like your life
It
just,
changes.
and as soon as you see that child, it's like
Well, again, it's a chemical change.
yeah.
Like I'm sorry, like I said,
Well, it's
I'm,
like babies crying. We're actually like kind of pre-programmed to like when a baby cries
Well,
to
like,
kinda answer it.
to
Or
like,
no, that's why babies cry. Is because it means they can get fed.
well,
by
like
it.
here's the thing, is like I say, put yourself out in the woods, in any remote scenario, you hear a baby crying, you are compelled to. Where's this coming from? I
Yeah.
bet, like you could be on the streets of Manhattan. And you hear a baby crying, and you're going to be compelled
to seek that child out.
Yeah.
No, I didn't thought about that.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's it's built into our DNA.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter. Like you could be on a camping trip and hear baby crying, and you're going to be compelled to. Where's this coming from? I can't leave this out here. I can't.
It's defenseless being.
Yeah, like you're compelled. But here's the other thing. Like say you're anywhere in your mind, whatever you want to do. Say you hear kittens crying. You're going to go check that out too.
Oh yeah.
Like
I was thinking that actually, like an animal like whining. You're like,
Yeah.
what's going on? Like you feel like
you got to do something about
you gotta
it.
do something about it.
Yeah, like that's like primates are a very interesting species. Like we've got a very interesting inlay of the way we do things.
Yeah.
And like I said with kittens, like you have to be a fucked up motherfucker to hear kittens and not want to go pick them up and try to get them somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like be honest with me, man. Like say you're walking down the street and you hear kittens fucking whining and you find a box of kittens. Are you just gonna leave them there?
No.
Exactly.
Like look around me like, hey, are these some of these kittens or what?
But you would, yeah, even at that point, like that's you wouldn't just walk by.
Yeah, I would at that point I would take them to a shelter.
Yeah, like you're not gonna leave a.
I wouldn't take them home for myself because I just don't want.
Well, that's different.
Because kittens are dicks. They really are. I have this whole thing about kittens like scratching me and stuff.
Yeah.
And biting and like.
Well, what I'm getting at is
I don't like them.
What I'm getting at is something small and vulnerable. We're not like I cannot think of anything more vulnerable than kittens. That's why
Well, baby's more vulnerable, honestly.
You're right.
A kitten could walk away and potentially find a meal.
Yeah, you're right.
A baby can't do shit.
Yeah, baby primate. That's the thing. That's where it's. And we are so far from our what is love.
No, I don't think so.
But like at
Because that is, I would say, a form of love.
But at your core of instinct, if you found a infant of any species, an infant.
But this kind of goes more into actually like chemical and emotional.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
And honestly, yeah, it's ingrained in our biological kind of makeup.
Think about like you and me. Say we walked across a puppy. What would you do? Like a puppy that didn't, like a tiny little puppy.
Oh, you'd take that thing home.
Hell yeah.
Kitten I take to a shelter, but a puppy I'm fucking taking that.
Oh, and
I'm taking that thing home.
Yeah, and that comes to the difference between like we're dog people.
Yeah.
But like when it really comes down to it, is that not love?
No, then this is what I wanted to get into with animal love is because me and you are both dog owners and we love our dogs. Like, and I honestly will tell people like that my dog is honestly the most important thing in my life.
Oh, same here, dude.
Yeah. And it's like if somebody came to me tomorrow and says like, I'll give you $10,000 for your dog, I'd be like, no.
Well, here's the other thing is like, I hate to take this angle on it. Say somebody is threatening your dog's life.
Oh man.
You put your life on the line.
Yeah. And that's the closest we can come to our children.
Yeah,
or having a child for us.
Like if somebody like, and I'm hating to use this, but it's making my point. Like if somebody had a knife to my dog's throat, they would have to deal with me the hardest.
I don't know what I would do if somebody was threatening my dog, honestly.
If they would have to deal with me, the hardest that anybody has ever had to deal with another.
Or it's like if somebody like kicks a dog, you're like, what the fuck did you just do?
Dude, right?
Even if it's not even your dog. It's like you see that happen. I think I saw one of those like instant karma videos, like a guy, he like walked by a dog and kicked it, and then he got hit by a car or something, and I was like, good, man, you fucking deserve that. You don't kick a dog.
Well, like dogs have been like, I don't mean to like again derail from our topic, but dogs have been something that human beings have been able to put their trust in for a long time.
Well, we domesticated them.
Yeah, like
you look at actually evolution, and I feel dogs are a very good.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Good example of evolution, or at least domestication.
Well, because like the story, like, you're probably thinking the same stuff I'm thinking about. Is like, okay, human beings, ancient human beings, having a fire.
Well, we domesticated them. I think only like 70,000 years ago or something.
Something like that.
30,000 to 70,000 years ago, something like that.
But the story that I'm getting at is like, okay, so human beings would be by a fire cooking meat. And there would be a canine of whatever breed you want to think of. Yeah.
Actually, I don't think it's evolution. I think it was natural selection.
Yes.
Breeding out certain traits. Okay.
Yeah. But where human beings gain their kinship with dogs is like we'd be having a fire, we'd be having a human gathering, and you'd be making food, and then there'd be a canine of whatever breed that you want to think of. Yeah, they would come by, they would start to approach, and then a human would be like, okay, here's a little bit,
eventually gain the trust,
gain trust,
and then eventually they'd go on hunts with them and help them,
and then protect the tribe,
and and then when you'd have dogs or wolves that would display traits of aggression, they would just
breed
get rid
them
of
out.
them. Yeah, they would kill them, or they'd breed them out, and they would breed out those traits. And it's always amazing to me how like all dogs have come from wolves. Like you look at like
it's funny that we're
at a pug.
It's funny that we're talking about what is love, and we're on dogs right now. Well, but that's what it's about.
That's probably
man.
the thing I love the most. Honestly,
me too, brother.
My dog.
Me too.
But yeah, you look at wolves, and it's like you can go from a wolf to like a Chihuahua, and they both share like what is it, like 99%
genome.
Yeah, the same.
Yeah, they're basically the same thing. They're
a selective breeding, I think. Same from natural selection. I think it's selective breeding.
Yeah, it's selective breeding. It's like, okay, so say maybe this dog or this dog is a little bit more aggressive or doesn't want to do the task that you're asking for. You don't breed them.
You've heard that actually happen with I think with humans, people have talked about that.
I'm sure it has.
Of like getting like, oh, if you want to get rid of certain diseases. I think eugenics? It's not eugenics.
Eugenics. That's exactly eugenics. Yeah, it's eugenics.
And yeah, like okay, somebody.
That's the reason that
like if somebody has autism, like you don't you get rid of that person. Somebody has
it's the Spartans, dude.
Somebody has a like heart disease, you get rid of them. You get rid of the weaker links.
Yeah, that's 100% eugenics.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like say somebody had, like you said, like heart disease, or the other one is actually cancer. Like say I'm gonna use the phrase a species of human would generally display cancer. You don't breed with them. You don't fuck them. Yeah. You don't.
They're just taken out of that gene pool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And like dogs is a really interesting thing because like going back to like what is love? Like we as a race have latched on to canines.
Well, they actually don't they display certain traits in order for us to.
Oh yeah, wagging the tail,
like licking, the eyes. Mm-hmm. All that stuff has just been made, or they've kind of developed those traits in order to.
Well, they've evolved to do that to get a response out of us. And that's my
dog totally does.
Oh, dude,
I give her so many damn treats.
Well, like think about it. Like, I'm forgetting the exact phrase, but like, okay, so let's say like a dog wags its tail. Like maybe the dog. Maybe the dog has evolved to know in their primordial brain when they wag their tail, they get a treat.
Oh no, totally. If they know if they act a certain way.
Yeah.
They get a certain response.
Yeah. Like, and
They
like,
actually respond more to the tone of your voice than
Oh,
they do the actual
big
words. But
time.
I think I saw something. They actually do understand your words.
yeah. Like my dog in particular, she's almost 2.
She's getting a little better, actually.
She's still a baby.
Yeah.
But like, she'll be out in the yard and I'll say her name, Leia. I'll say Leia, and she'll look at me, and then until I use a certain connotation of Leia.
Yeah.
Hey, that's when she's like, whoa.
Yeah,
whoa,
my dog
whoa.
will do the same thing.
Yeah, like they're taught to. It's like they're genetically taught to respond, like, because like think about it for a second. You got a dog, and you say their name in several tones of voice, and then when you're serious, they're like, whoa. Like, okay, I'll respond. Because like I've never once been violent with my dog.
Yeah.
But when I use a high tone of Leia,
Yeah.
she's like,
and
whoa.
I even know how to talk to my dog. Like, we can honestly communicate through like moans. I think. I think I heard I think I heard her like do this growl earlier.
Marla's all.
Yeah. I heard her like I had a friend describe her as like a turkey dog. She has like these like turkey sounds. But man,
Marla's an awesome dog.
I
Though,
love my
man.
dog so much.
What's her breed?
She's an Aussie Lab mix.
Aussie Lab. Okay.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart.
I got a husky Rottweiler.
She won't really
named
play with me
Sweetie.
anymore though. But
You were
That's
telling me
another
that.
story.
Well, you were telling me.
I will say though, so to get back to what is love.
Yeah, we started
we
talking
went on
about
a
our
long
dogs.
tangent about a
We
dog.
started talking about our dogs.
So we lost everybody by now, haven't we?
Oh, whoa. Hopefully not.
Nah. But my dog is my dog is the most important thing in my life, I would say. And
I'm gonna be Ricky Lake here for a minute.
I'm gonna do a little handheld. But she is honestly the most important thing in my life, and if I had when I think about loving anything, my dog is definitely what I love the most.
My dog comes first.
Yeah.
Comes first.
But one thing I wanted to get to, I think earlier about like talking about like people saying they love me or whatever, is like I always had a really hard problem with family actually saying like, oh, you always hear like, oh,
you're just saying that.
Like
You're just saying
people always
that.
say like, oh, I love you, Dad, I love you, Mom, and to me, I never would say that to my parents.
Well,
I can actually say that my dad died. I think this month it'll be what is it? This month will be 9 years that my dad died.
I can say the sensitivity of my side of that.
Yeah, I know. I'm not gonna bring it up.
Yeah.
But I could probably say now, like, oh, I loved my dad. I knew my dad loved me. He would never say he did. He's like, oh, I love you, Nick. He's just not that kind of guy. He's a man's man type. But I knew, and my mom always said, like, your dad love you. You know me and your dad love you. I'm like, yeah, I know. But it never really means shit to me, honestly. And like, my mom, like, I think even I haven't talked to my mom in probably like 5 years, or four like over 4 years, something like that. But she's always like, oh, I love you, Nick. And I'm just like, I never gave a shit. I'm like, I don't fucking care. I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
And like, even like, I think only within the last few years I've been able to say like my sister or my brother. I'm like, I never really say it to him, but I'd be like, oh yeah, I love you guys, and it's just always weird for me to say it. It's weird for me because when I think of love, I think more of romantic love.
Right.
I don't think of love in the terms of, like a family.
Right.
I think love like has that one connotation, like,
yeah. Well,
at least I did for a long time, and now I'm like a little more open with it and be like, yeah, I love my sister, but still it feels weird for me to say something like that.
Well, and dude,
I just didn't grow up in a family like I grew up in a family where, like, we weren't like big huggers. Like my mom would try. My mom was always like the one that was weird to me, and like to my dad. And my dad was very like hands off. Like, I'm not gonna hug you or this or that. Like he not to say my dad was a bad father at all, but it's because he wasn't. He'd spend time with me and we'd hang out. And we had a really good relationship. My mom was always more like traditional, like, oh, I'm gonna hug you and kiss you. I'm gonna tell you I love you, and I'm like, this is fucking weird. Like, don't touch me.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I have this really weird thing. Like, when my dad would tell me that he loved me and like would get emotional over my mom dying and stuff like that, made me uncomfortable. I mean,
Yeah.
like I'm not a hugger.
I feel like I can say to my dad's side of the family, like I feel like my grandmother and my aunts, I can be like, yeah, I love you guys, you know. And honestly, my grandmother's my favorite person in the world. I mean, even I haven't really talked to her in quite a while.
Well, and here's a very sociopath thing to say, but I understand this. But like, I don't know that I love anybody.
Yeah.
You
No,
know,
and
that's the honest truth.
that's actually a good next point to get into.
Yeah,
we're going through everything, man.
Yeah, that's fine.
I wanted this to be a long conversation. We're at like 15 minutes right now.
Yeah.
This is a long conversation, which we honestly should do for love.
Yeah.
Because what is love is a big topic. But
like, I honestly can't say this isn't honest. Honest. I honestly can't say like I love my friends. Like I was
always able to say that. That always came very naturally to me. Like I love my friends. Like that's always very naturally. But when it comes to family or people like I'm dating, very unnatural.
Yeah, like the thing is like I don't know that actually no. I know that I've never genuinely experienced love. Like it's kind of fucked for me to say that.
No, but you're being honest though.
Yeah, well, I'm 100% honest. Like so.
I you know what I will say. I think Jackie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you were in love with Jackie.
Yes,
so
I can't argue with that.
So like a little context about Jackie. I'll just explain it. Like
yeah,
so, it was a girl you met and.
Because I gave a lot of myself.
She was a former heroin addict.
I gave a lot of myself.
And you actually helped her out, like, because how long after she, wasn't she get out of jail or something?
Yeah.
And you met her, and she was trying to get her life back together, and you did a lot for that girl.
Well, I actually was her.
And she fucked you up. I would say if you loved anybody, I'd say you actually did love Jackie.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. And I recently found her on Instagram again. She won't accept my request.
You think she might have had some dude beat you up, so or try.
Yeah.
So don't even go there, man.
Yeah, but like
but you know the thing is,
you bring up a good point because
I think at the time you were dating her, I could totally be like, yeah, you were in love with her, but you know, of course, like I said, hindsight's 20/20. Me like, and you could be now like, well, I
came home,
or was it lust?
Well, no. Here's the thing: is you bring up a good point. Because I came home to her more than once where she was high on heroin. She handed it over to me. And I hate the fact that we're talking about this.
Sorry, man.
No, it's fine. It's fine. But she handed it over to me and I got rid of it. I fucking flushed it down the toilet and I didn't write her off. I was like, okay, this girl's in my life, she cares about me. I'm going to do something for her. I'm not going to, because her parole officer would call me every day. And I was like, I'm not going to say anything about this. And is that bad for me to not say anything about that though?
It just means you cared about her. You didn't want to see something bad happen to her. Yeah.
And the thing is that she would always come to me and okay, I did it again. I did it again. I did, And the fucked up thing, is when it came to an end, she told me I had too many problems.
Yeah,
that's the fucked up thing. That's the fucked up.
I want to throw something out right now of you're probably in love with somebody if and I was leaving the grocery store today. It's and I was I'm just gonna be you're in love with someone if it sounds very Jeff Foxworthy. But you're in love with someone if you want to go to the grocery store with them.
Oh, there you go.
You're in love with someone if you want to go and go shopping at Costco with them.
There you go.
You love someone if you want to go walk around a bookstore for a few hours with them.
There you
go. You love someone if you want to cook dinner with them.
Yeah.
You love someone if their smell's intoxicating to you.
Dude. Oh, I know.
You love someone if you just want to hang out at home and fucking watch Netflix.
That's why I felt like I had that with Chris. I cooked for her 10 times. I'm not gonna get into this.
You want to throw some more? You want to throw some out there of you're probably in love with them or you're in love with someone if yeah you got any?
If you sacrifice your own time for them.
Oh yeah.
If you sacrifice is the big thing. If you do something that they want to do that you don't want to do, just to be with them.
I like that.
Just to be with them. Like, because I went through that a lot. Like, I had a girlfriend that was amazing woman. Her name is Jessica. And she used to sit here. I know very well that she hated it, but she used to watch Dragon Ball Z with me from start to finish. I knew that she hated it, but she.
What about if you'll hang out with them no matter how tired you are? How long a day you have?
There you go. And the big thing is like acceptance. You know, like, and we're getting back to like what is love. You know, like if the person that's deciding to spend their time with you is doesn't care what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know, like have you ever had that experience?
No, that sounds like freedom, honestly.
Yeah, it doesn't care what
you're... Well, no, maybe I have.
It doesn't care what you're doing. They just want to, like, hey, say maybe you're going fucking four-wheeling, and that's not something that they're into, but like, well, I'm going to go because this person's doing it.
No, you bring up a good one, actually, because I asked my grandmother once what the secret, you know, like, hey, how do you like stay married for so long?
You've said this before.
I say this to pretty much everyone I end up meeting. I guess my grandmother. It's like, hey, like, what's the secret? What's the secret to marriage? And she says two things. She's like, space and compromise. I was like, is that it? And she's like, yeah, that's it. And my grandparents have been married for about like 50 years.
You've said that before too.
And it's like, it's just those two little things. Because I look at my grandmother, I look at my grandfather. They're very different people, honestly. My grandmother likes to garden and antique and like she's kind of more of a homebody. She likes to cook and clean the house and all that. And my grandfather, like, I don't think he's this way anymore, actually. I haven't seen him in a few years. But he'd go to the bar, he'd drink, he'd have the same thing every day. He'd see his friends. And he'd come home and he like watches Westerns on TV. he reads his newspaper every morning and he just does his own thing. But at the end of the day, like those two they just get together and they just, you know, like lay on the couch and watch TV, like watch some NCIS or something.
There we go. Like
but the whole thing was, to me, was she would never bitch at him for what he did, what he liked to do and what he enjoyed doing.
See, that's love.
And he would never do that to her.
See, that's
so
love.
could be two completely separate people and independent. And and actually I asked my grandfather once about fighting. I was like, yeah, my parents, I was like saying to him, I was like, yeah, my parents fight all the time. He's like, I don't remember me and your grandmother ever fighting our whole marriage.
So
and like I said, this is like
amazing.
40, 50 years of marriage.
That's amazing.
And it's because they just like, they let them be their own people.
That's the
and
key.
be independent.
That's the key.
And not and it's like, hey, you want to go and do this? Go for it. Have a good time. I'll see you at the end of the day.
Yeah, see, that's the
that's
key.
why I actually feel a lot of people will cheat on each other, is because the fact that people put boundaries on each other and limits and be like, hey, I don't want you doing this, or you can't go and hang out with that person. And for me, I've always been very open if I'm seeing someone, I'm like, hey, you want to go hang out with your friends that night? You want to go do this, go do that? I'm like, go for it. Have fun. You know, I'll see you next time. Like, tell me about it later. You know,
yeah, I want to hear the story.
Call me afterwards and tell me how it was.
I want to hear the story. Like, what did you guys do?
Yeah, that's what matters to me. I want to hear how you were afterwards.
And the kind of going on with what you were talking about was like something that I learned that like
that's love to me. I'm sorry.
Oh no,
but that is love.
That's perfect, man. That's perfect. Like one of the things that I have a flaw in is I'm possessive as hell. You know, like when I'm with somebody, it's like okay, they went and did something with somebody. How come they didn't want me there?
Yeah.
And, you know, and that's not healthy.
No, I'll say with the last girl I dated, I never told her this, but I think at times I would actually get a little jealous, and she would remind me.
Jealousy is bad.
That's one of the first times I've ever been jealous with
Yeah.
but she was so incredibly private with her life.
Yeah.
Like, she just really wouldn't tell me anything about her life, which for the most part I was fine with. Like, hey, you know what? Tell me what you want to tell me when you want to tell me. I'm fine with that. But at the same time, she'd talk about like other guys or something,
that's
and I'd be like, and she would tell me like, hey, I'm not like gonna go sleep with someone. Like, if I'm seeing someone, I'm like seeing them and only them. But it always just kind of worried me, just kind of fucked me up a little bit.
I hear that, man. I hear that. Like,
but I don't think. I know she would never done it.
Have you? This is kind of on the same vein of what we're talking about. Like, have you ever been?
And actually, I just want to say, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I just want to say I have no ill will towards that woman at all.
That's good though. That's healthy.
Yeah.
Like the what I was getting at is like, have you ever been like in a relationship to where this is kind of piggybacking on what I was saying, like to where you were like, well, okay, you went and did this thing. How come you didn't want me there? Like
I think it's more just petty than anything, man.
yeah, like because I'm clingy as a motherfucker.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, like when somebody's like in my life as something, I'm like clingy as a motherfucker. But you have to find this really fine line of what works.
With balance.
Yeah. But I'm not good at that.
The compromise.
Yes,
I said.
I'm not good at that, and that's why I don't do it right now.
That's the tough part at first. If you just want to make something work, you need to give the people their space.
Yeah. So, like, at the core of it, like, what is love, man?
That's why it's a philosophical question, man.
Yeah.
What is love? I mean, honestly, you go to the song, what is love, baby? Don't hurt me no more.
Exactly.
Because everyone's just looking for that love without that they're not gonna be hurt with.
Well, you're looking.
I mean, I like a pure love is honestly like a man and his dog.
There you go.
It's a very pure love. Like you love your dog loves you.
There's nothing I wouldn't.
And
do for my
it's
dog.
honestly on both sides. It's pretty much unconditional,
Mm-hmm.
which is one of the few times you can totally say. Like,
Well, it doesn't matter how mad you get at your dog. It doesn't matter how much you scold your dog. The next time you leave and come home, they're excited to see you.
yeah, no, totally.
That's
And they might be like, you might like yell at them for something, but you know what? Half an hour later, they don't care.
like the worst that I do with my dog is like, no, don't.
Or they might be a little cautious for like 10 minutes, but then they'll come up to you.
Like the worst that I'll do. Is
You're like, you get to the point where you're like, oh, I'm like, all right, come
okay,
on.
come here. I'm
You
sorry.
learned your lesson.
Like I was saying, like the worst that I can do is like, no, don't do that.
Yeah.
And then like 5 minutes later, my dog comes up to me like, hey, sup?
Yeah.
You want to cuddle?
Well, because people will say with their family, for instance, like their sons, daughters, aunts, uncles, they'll say like, oh, I love them unconditionally. It's like, you know what?
That's not true. It's
No.
not true. It's not true.
It's not. Even like with like parents and kids, it's like it's not.
It's not true, man.
Not completely.
But like, you look at an animal's
Honestly,
love,
because you can get to a point where like your kid did something fucked up enough,
and
and
you're
you're like,
pissed.
like you
And
know
you're
what?
pissed.
Like I don't really love you anymore, or like I like this isn't unconditional anymore. Like I really I don't agree with what you did. And I'm like I can't be your parent anymore. Like I disown you.
Well, like being unconditional is a very strong statement.
Because you even see serial killers that just bring up serial killers, like their parents will still end up saying like I love you.
Well, it's like Jeffrey Dahmer's father. I think his name was David. Like he not even once like faltered of like
That is unconditional love right there.
Yeah, never once even.
It's like
faltered.
even when his son admitted to fucking eating people,
Yeah,
you're like,
he was
I
like-
still love my son.
It's like he fucked up, but he's still my son.
Yeah, he fucked up.
He's still my son. Like there,
That's love right there.
there were several interviews where he was like sitting next to his side, and, like so that's the thing. Like you look at like you brought up serial killers. Like you open the Pandora's box for me real quick. But like Ramirez, when he was in jail, none of his family came to. No,
That guy was evil.
Yeah. Well, that's my definition of
By the way, if you
evil.
want to learn any more about any of either one of these guys, check out Rufus the Villain's True Crime Corner.
That's right. We did a deep dive. Our next one actually is going to be the California shootout, which is going to be interesting. But anyway, I've been in situations in my family to where I was like, I can't talk to this person anymore, and that's hard. Like, have you ever been in that situation before?
No, actually, I feel that way about my mother. I can't talk to my mother.
You just-
Mainly just because I don't like her.
Yeah, and that's rough.
And I can't honestly say, I don't even give a shit if she, like, loves me.
Right.
I just don't. I just don't like her. Well, I don't like her as a person.
Yeah.
But I've actually tried to get away from that. Actually, the last girl I saw, she asked me about why I, like, always, like, couldn't stand my mom. It's like, can you forgive her and this? And I was like, ever since she talked about that, I'm like, I can't really like forgive my mom
Right.
necessarily for being a terrible person, but I have tried to just stop talking about her for the most part.
Yeah.
And I think it's
get
helped
that.
to actually just not do it.
Well, it helps your psyche at that point.
Oh yeah.
So at the core of everything, what is love? I think it's a chemical response that primates all do.
Yeah.
You know, like
Well, you don't just see it in primates though. You see it in
we see it in everything. Dogs, you
and
see it
just
in
life
cats,
in
you see-
general.
like
You see it in marine life.
That's right. That's right.
You know, I was talking about penguins earlier.
That's right. Yeah, like
You see it in bears with their cubs.
like you remember
birds.
You remember Coco the gorilla?
Yeah.
Like that's a story. Like every time I look into that, it fucking makes my heart hurt because I doing my research for Robin Williams, he actually had an interaction with Coco, and like watching that every time I've watched it, it makes me fucking cry because like he's sitting there with Coco and like doing sign language that he was taught that she knows what the responses are, and she's like reacting with him, and like the my favorite reaction with Robin Williams and Coco the gorilla, and she's trying to tell Robin that she wants to go outside. She's like she wants to go outside because all the humans. She's doing this.
Smoking.
Yeah,
Smoking
like
sign.
yeah, like she's telling Robin like I want to go outside because basically that's the humans go outside to smoke a cigarette, and you know and she's like signing to Robin Williams smoke cigarette, and he's like. No, let's you know, like it was heartwarming, man.
Yeah.
You know, like and like of course anybody, and I know I'm on a tangent right now, but like Coco got a kitten. Anybody that is over 30 years old knows Coco's kitten, and she loved that little kitten. She raised it. She took care of it. So for a
I
primate,
thought she only had it for a little bit.
it's 5 years.
Did she?
5 years.
I thought they only like gave it to her for like a minute.
And
and
it's
they took it away.
five. What I looked at was 5 years.
Oh, okay.
Like so, she didn't get to have it all the time.
Yeah.
It wasn't in her possession all the time. But like she would literally, she loved this kitten. So that's the core of what love is.
Yeah.
A gorilla for a kitten.
Maybe we can only really see what it is on in like I guess you'd say like lower primates. You can really see what love really is.
Yeah.
You know, and with like especially when you see like chimpanzees with their kids.
Right.
And then, you know, they have them hung on to them and they show them how to, you know, you actually like with birds, like they show them how to hunt and,
Right.
and everything. And then eventually or even bears, like once they figure out how to hunt for themselves, then they can go.
Right.
And that's probably love right there on a very base level.
Well,
But, you know, you could actually use like same analogy for humans. But I mean, with us, it's more like, oh, well, yeah, they know how to hunt and fish and gather and like be independent, but they still fucking stay. Because they're just lazy motherfuckers.
well, like
I'm sorry.
no, it's all good. It's all good. But like the reason I bring up Coco and Coco and her kitten was like two different species that didn't even speak the same language, aren't human. Like she basically had this connection to this tiny little, probably 30-ounce creature, and took care of it. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, but you could say the same thing with us.
No, well, it's love, dude.
We don't speak the same language.
Yeah, it's
It is nice to see that though. It's always one of those heartwarming things. You see, you
Yeah.
know, when you see like the dog and
like we always talk.
and
The
the dog and the tiger or something, or the tiger and the bear, and you're like, how the hell are these like? Oh my god, I can't believe they're friends.
They're homeboys.
Yeah.
Like I saw one.
They should be killing each other, but they're not.
I saw a video on YouTube the other day. It was these two little wiener dogs, and like the video starts off. It's like, I forget what they phrased it as, but these two little wiener dogs run up to a fucking lion, and then the fucking wiener dogs like roll over and they're like all happy, and this fucking lion starts like licking them and shit.
Yeah.
It's like, what the in nature? I don't know in nature that would happen. Like that would be a meal.
Yeah.
But these two little wiener dogs come running up to this fucking full-maned lion, and this lion just like starts talking, just like, okay, what's up, boys? Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool, man.
That's love right there. Man.
Yeah. And you look at like I saw one. Have you ever heard the Black Cat? It's called the Black Cat Initiative. Check that out on YouTube, guys. This guy raises felines. I'm going to use the phrase felines that are like panthers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And one of the coolest videos that he has is like it's like set up to like make you have anxiety, and like he's sitting looking at the camera, and this fucking black panther is like crawling up behind him, and then the panther like gets to where he's at and just like rolls over and starts licking him.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
That's love right there.
Yeah, man, it's cool stuff, man. I think love is interspecies. Like I think we all can love anything that's alive.
It's true. Because you used to have a fish that you loved.
Yeah, it was Goku. That was his name.
Yeah.
I felt so bad when he died.
Yeah.
Yeah, my ex-girlfriend Lauren like helped me with him, but yeah, Goku was cool because he was all like frilly and orange, and that's why he got.
He was a Siamese fighting fish.
He was a beta fighting fish.
Oh, fighting fish. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I had another one that I would keep in a cage tank next to him named Vegeta.
So have we answered the what is love question?
Can we though?
We really can't.
I
think we both wrote the opinion. It's more chemical.
We've given a lot of examples.
We have given. I think we've gone through all the examples.
Yeah, we've given a lot of examples.
I think this is actually the longest episode of Philly Bones we've done. I gotta say.
Yeah. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah, I hope everyone's enjoyed it. We always we always like to try to answer the question like one in the end, like just a short answer.
I think what is love is love is an emotional connection between two living creatures.
I like that. I think love is more. It's a chemical reaction.
It's definitely a chemical reaction
to a visual stimulation. Maybe
there you go.
I just kind of want to go with that.
I like
just because it sounds smart.
You know what? Well, it's a chemical reaction between two.
Actually, a good question is: do you believe in love?
I do.
I'm not, and we're not playing that Cher song to outro this episode.
No.
By the way,
do you?
Do you believe in love? After love.
Here's the thing: is like I do. I personally haven't had it 100% in my life, but I do believe it exists.
You love your dog, so I think that's kind of proof right there.
Yeah.
That you can love something.
Good point.
But love from a dog or love for a dog is very different.
That's real love. That's real love.
That is true.
That's like you can have a hamster and like that could.
So you just have a hard time with people.
I do have a hard time with people.
Who doesn't?
People piss me off.
Well, it's nice because with our dogs, they can't fucking talk back to us. Oh man, I sound so horrible saying that.
Well, here's the thing: is they give you unconditional.
Yeah,
it's unconditional.
I think that's what it actually. I would say that's what it really is. Is we get unconditional love from our animals.
Oh yeah. Our
animal isn't always going to say to us like "fuck you, you're an asshole. I'm not going to talk to you again."
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing. Is okay. So if you jeopardize love between an animal, they're not going to interact with you anymore.
That's true, though. Yeah.
Like think about a scared animal of you. Like say let's just here's the fighting dogs, and say you abuse your dog to make them aggressive. They're never going to love you.
By the way, fuck you if you do that.
Yeah, fuck you if you do that. Hell yeah, man. Yeah.
I hope you end up in prison.
Yeah, you fucking
monster.
Yeah, but like here's the thing: is like if you abuse a dog enough to make it aggressive and fighting, there's never gonna be love there.
No, those people don't do it for love; they do it for profit.
Yeah. And, but you get what I'm saying.
Control.
You get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Like that. Here's the thing: is if you nurture a dog, like look at Princess Leia, man. Like she's crazy as hell, but like she's nothing but a good thing in my life.
Yeah,
she's destroyed $1,000 worth of comic books, but I would never go make her fight another fucking.
Whatever else in your house.
Yeah, my drywall.
She's not really much of a guard dog either.
No, dude, she'll never be a guard dog.
Yeah.
She like might let me know when people are here, but I might want to just go greet them.
Yeah, I always tell people my dog keeps me sane.
Yeah, that's right, man.
This has been an episode about half love, half dogs.
Yeah, that's right. Well, thank you guys for listening to another Philosophical Bones.
Yeah, thank you so much. This has been episode 26.
It was a good one.
What is love? And
what does it have to do with
hopefully you
it?
found an answer in there at some point.
Thanks, guys.
But and then I just want to say, keep thinking.